how do you move an idea from just something you're thinking of into a social movement, a company, a product, or something that even starts a thread on a discussion forum? Well, this company called AHHHA that we're going to hear about right now has a new idea about what to do with ideas. Who are you?
I am Matt Crowe, an idea guy and founder and CEO of AHHHA, a serial entrepreneur since high school and newer to Silicon Valley. Built a bunch of companies, and now I'm on to AHHHA.com, which is social ideation.
And what the heck is that?
Yeah, like I say, if Facebook is social networking and Twitter is social media, AHHHA is social ideation. And it's really the evolution of the social internet and user interaction, basically allowing us to take ideas, leveraging the crowd, comments, collaboration, and votes to bring ideas to life.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who you compete with, because you look a little like Crowe, but not too much. And you look a little like Spigot, but not too much. And you look a little like Kickstarter, but not too much. Where do you fit in the world?
Yeah, that's good. In fact, when I first started to decide where I wanted to position the brand, I really was I saw where the hole was. I saw that there were guys playing in like Kickstarter, which is awesome, right? But they're very indie niche focused in kind of the arts and media space. And Spigot is very enterprise focused, right? And even as a large corporation, I thought, gosh, why is Target, as an example, why they're not asking Target's customers what their customers want instead of asking their employees what their employees want with the innovation management tools? So I really decided I really have to position it as a brand first and foremost, right? Similar to Virgin or Pepsi or whatever, and that kind of led into the what I call ideas are our brand, and the brand is ideas.
Okay. So what does a new user see when they come to AHHHA?
Yeah, when a user comes to the site, they see a simple screen, right? Simple, a lot of neon green also, and a claim it button. So the idea being, we all have ideas all the time. We all have AHHHAs, right? Mm-hmm. And most people don't do anything about them. And also the reality is that if you have a good idea, so do 4,000 other people at that exact same very moment. The person who's going to make money on that idea is the person that does something about it, that executes on it.
Who gets to the patent office first?
That's right. Well, sometimes it's just who builds a better product, right? Who builds a better mousetrap? Who creates market share first, right? Like in today's world of the internet, right? I'm a believer of that IP is actually not as valuable as market share, and I'll give you an example. So Google, right? Google has massive market share, and sure they have IP, but there's far superior technologies today than there is to Google. However, they have a brand and they have an audience, right? So I think some ideas do have patentability, yes, but some don't, and that doesn't mean that it's not potentially a good idea or can't add value, like in Crowe's instance, or we can't sell on demand on our marketplace.
So I have an idea. I want to build an iPad app that lets you order food from Omaha Steaks or Salt Lick and have it shipped right to your house. I looked and there's no iPad app for doing this. Yeah. So what do I do with this idea? And how does your service help me take that idea further?
Yeah. So you go to our site, submit your idea. You can upload content. Drawings or visuals or videos or descriptions, that kind of thing around the idea. Once it's uploaded into the system, what we do is I try to make AHHHA as lifelike as possible, right? So just like in real life, if you have a good idea, you might not want to tell everybody, right? Maybe you just want to tell your closest and most trusted relationships. Maybe you want to tell the whole world, right? That's up to you, not up to us. So we allow you to decide what privacy level to make your idea, which syndicates the idea either through the whole community, through the whole world. You'll see we have over 7,000 organic links driving traffic to the site right now from different keywords. So just on Google, people are searching, iPad app that does whatever, and it drives them to that idea, right, if it's a public idea. So from that point on, now the idea is in our system, and that's where what I call social ideation starts. And think of it like, again, just like in real life. If you have this idea for this iPad app, maybe you're going to ask a few buddies about it. Hey, what do you think about this? And then you say, oh, well, maybe, that's a shit idea. Or maybe it's like a great idea if it did like this. Or are you going to host it here? Are you going to do this with it? Or what are you going to build it on, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's very time intensive, right? And very inefficient, right? And if you think of our platform, really collapses that inefficiency, right? Because it allows it all to happen via web-enabled. So users are able to start voting and commenting and collaborating around your idea, which starts the good ideas bubbling up through our system and through our proprietary algorithms and trade secret weighted scoring that allows us to determine which ideas really do have potential market share, which ideas really are good, and which ideas should go out into the market and be monetized.
Now, let's say Jane Smith says, "Oh, that's an interesting idea," and draws me some screenshots. Does a prototype and builds out the idea a little bit more, and then can she post it back into that thread, or?
Yeah. So right now, users can. And this is version 1.3 of the site. Yeah. Users can vote, comment. The originator can upload content via designs. The next version of the site, which is version 1.4, which will release in early July, will have all the cool Kung Fu Ninja stuff, right? Like the Match.com-ish, where you can see who's viewing your profile and really deep, intensive descriptions about the users and the ideas and uploading content and that kind of thing. So I kind of look at it as this version really streamlines the first 1/3 of bringing an idea to life. The next version of the site will take care of the next piece of that, right? And that's also where we tie in our loyalty and currency program as well.
Now, it's all a flat thread, right? And ideas, like I could see 3 separate people around the world taking that original idea and then doing prototypes, but their prototypes might be wildly different.
Yeah.
Can you split them off into separate, like this
That's a good idea.
Prototype A, prototype B, prototype C, and then have a discussion about each one
That's
of
a good aha right there. See? Look at that. Yeah, I mean, look, right now, we only sort similar ideas to around the idea that was originated, right? Because just like that, if you have an idea for this iPhone app, right? Somebody else may have a very similar one that's just a little bit different, right? But the two differences, it's like in any market, right? There's not just going to be one player. There's always like 9 or 10, right? There's Facebook and MySpace and Friendster, and the guy who does the best job at it is the guy who's going to ultimately win, right? And ultimately own the majority of the market share. That doesn't mean that the other guys aren't going to own a piece of that as well.
Speaking of which, who owns these ideas? How do people get paid for coming up with ideas?
Yeah, so essentially when you stake your claim to your idea, it's yours, you own it. We create a unique identifier and a timestamp around that idea and you and your user profile. As we start to commercialize that idea, meaning if it hits our thresholds and the community likes it, and we're able to monetize that idea, it's still your idea. However, as the idea originator, you receive 10% of the profits of the idea, and the contributing users who vote and comment and collaborate receive between 11 and 99%, and AHHA takes the remaining.
How do you decide what the percentage is? If somebody does some really good work with a prototype design, she probably deserves a lot more credit or a piece of the company than somebody else who just said, "Oh, that's a cool app."
Yeah. So the contribution from the users is based upon our trade secret weighted scoring system, right? So in some instances, as an industry expert, you might get more points based upon your interaction, but some instances maybe not, right? And that's kind of the kung fu stuff behind the scenes. That's really cool, I think, at least. Ultimately, when we release what I'm calling our currency program, our social currency program, that will be much more clearly defined as well. But essentially, I want to make it as fair as possible for everyone and a simple, streamlined system that we can scale very quickly and effectively.
Yeah. Give me some ideas or examples of what people are doing with it already. Walk me through some of the use cases.
Sure, yeah, everything. Literally, it's so cool, Robert. We're getting everything from 18-year-olds to 70-year-olds. So for a new consumer internet site, it's very different in comparison to like an early adoption like Quora as an example, right? The core audience is usually guys like us that are like tech guys, front end of the wave, right? Yeah. But because we're a brand, we're getting all sorts of consumers. We're getting what the American consumer is, which is anybody and everybody, right? So, which means they're going to have different kinds of ideas. Some people are more hesitant to give away their idea and put it into the system because for the last 50 years of their life, they've been living under the pretense that before you do anything with your idea, you need to file a provisional patent and all that. Or people from our younger generation, Gen X and Gen Y, are like, hey, let's share content. It's great. What good for one is good for all kind of thing. Yeah. So we're getting
Well, and like you said, in the internet world, having the audience matters more than having the idea, right?
Yeah.
I remember arguing about Dig with engineers at Microsoft, and they said, "Oh, we could clone that in a week." I go ahead and try. You can't get the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the following too. That's the brand. That's the audience. You know, people love that, right? That's like Virgin. I'm a huge fan of Richard Branson. Huge, right? Like that people love flying on Virgin America. I do. It's great. It's pretty hosted the flight attendants. You know, like purple lights instead of depressing whatever else. They just do things a little bit differently and developed a cult following because of it. So but we're getting all sorts of ideas at all ends of the spectrum. So I say we kind of have like an internal something called Project Ford, which is the systematization of the execution of the idea, right? So if an idea comes in at just a 1, which is like a granular thought, meaning like I walk down the street and there should be a better widget. Okay, great, it's in the system. We're also getting ideas to a 10, which is a fully baked company, product or service, and everything in between. So a lot of really ingenious ideas, a lot of consumer products and technology, apps, websites, that kind of thing. A handful of which we'll be monetizing now in the very near future that will start to show the breadth of different types of ideas that AHHA will start to spit out.
And you get political ideas too. It's not an education ideas. It's not just an iPad app or. Tell me about some of the other kinds of ideas.
Yeah,
that
well,
you've seen
I look at it as like on our home screen it says, "What's your idea?" Right, and the definition of an idea is just really a vision or thought. It can be anything, right? So because of that, users are submitting everything, like everything to political, this politician should do that, or there should be an app that tracks this, or there should be a website that lets the American citizen do that, right? That kind of stuff. And so when I came up with this, like, "What's your idea?" slogan, right, on and submitting that and claiming it, it kind of was coming from a perspective of a consumer myself, right? Like, if I go to Target and shop at Target, maybe I have ideas for Target, right? Because I'm a consumer, I'm going to know what they want. So as a corporation, it's kind of like just asking your audience, was the food good at the restaurant? What did you like, sir? Did you like the lamb chops? Okay, good, great. If not, how can I do it differently? That kind of thing. And just responding to that, right? Versus the top-down approach, which is how corporations or venture or early-stage companies work today, which is I've got a great product, I'm going to put a bunch of capital at it, I'm going to do some product research, and then push it out to the marketplace and see what it can do.
Yeah.
We're in fact doing the exact opposite, which means we're collecting all that market information first, boiling it down into information that we know people want, getting it honed into the product and the users around that community, making it as efficient and as effective as possible. And then once it's fully baked and ready to go, then we take it and put it out into the market.
Interesting. Tell me a little bit about the company. How's it, the fundamentals? How is it funded?
Sure. So we've raised angel capital thus far as well. There's 11 core team members right now and about 30 total consultants. I'm based in Palo Alto. We have people working for us in Minneapolis, as well as a partnership firm in New York. And in the near future, working on a really cool headquarters and a big institutional round, and then we're off to the races.
Cool. How are you going to make money with this? I bet all those investors who are about to put a couple million in are going,
Yeah. So early on, we'll be doing this for the enterprise, which is a low-hanging fruit for us. It's just really easy to do this for corporations. But ultimately, longer term, which is really where my focus is and on the team, is the consumer side, right? Which is Robert's idea has merit. We monetize that. We bring that out into the marketplace through our channel partners and our resources internally, and we take that sliding scale piece of that idea as well. So essentially kind of like a transaction fee.
Yeah. Are you keeping track of how good my interactions are with other people, or how good my ideas are? Do I get an idea score at the end of the day, sort of like a Clout score?
Not yet, although I've been thinking like kind of like a FICO score, similar to Clout, right? Yeah. I do it based upon, I have something more similar to how LinkedIn has, right? So LinkedIn has the thermometer, where it has like, do this and you could add 5% kind of thing. That's what I have internally. So we have this, what I call Project Ford, and that's that thermometer that essentially shows how far along your idea is in the process to monetization.
What's the biggest challenge building this business?
Yeah, so candidly, I think because we're not just a really small idea, right? Like a focused app or something like that, right? Our business is tens of thousands of ideas, right? And it's constantly different. It's a brand of ideas. So I think it's a lot harder concept to grasp your arms around. From an investment standpoint, early on was a little bit harder that way. Yeah. But now, finally, I think we've gotten it down to some good analogies where I can say things like it's kind of like a GPS for ideas, right? Telling it where to go faster. Or we're like the internet version of GE or the internet version of 3M, just more kind of real life tangible things that help grasp a little bit more similar to what it's like. So I think that was probably the biggest hurdle for me, at least, was being so close into it. I'm deep in the weeds on the product and the user experience and everything that's happening within the system. The rest of my team is more focused on a lot of the business functions and the social aspect and the technology and the marketing and that kind of stuff. So
very cool. Where do we learn more about it?
At AHHHA.com, AHHHA.com.
Yeah, it's a weird spelling. It has 3 H's in there.
AHHHA.com, just remember that. And Twitter at myAHHA, Facebook, our blog, blog.ahha.com. And
very cool. Where do we find, are you on Twitter personally?
Absolutely. Yeah, / Matthew Crowe, or at Matthew Crowe, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Very cool.
Google, you name it.
Well, thanks for coming out and showing
Awesome.
it to me. And
Thanks, Robert.
I'm interested in seeing where this idea goes.
Yeah, cool.